Okay, well, this is going to be part 3, and I was debating about whether to do a part 3, and this is going to be dealing with why tightening up the nut for this control made this start working. And I had a couple of I guess I was pondering whether I was going to make this part of the part 1 and 2 videos that I did, or do this as a separate piece. And given how long those videos turned out to be, I decided to make it its own separate part. And part of me was saying, well, should I bother? But I would love to know. And again, one of the reasons why I do this is so I can help other people. So this might help somebody who runs into one of these, can't get it to work, doesn't know why, and has no clue that tightening up this nut might fix their problem. But I want to know why that fixed the problem. So, interesting. When I loosen the screw, this back comes out, which means this is putting pressure on this mounting plate. So that's one of the things I was wondering about was, are these screws pulling on the mounting plate that everything is on and possibly causing, let's see, this is unplugged good, yes, causing this problem to occur. Well, there, alright. Now, this is really strange. Okay. This makes even less sense now than before because, well, let's throw this down here. We're going to zoom in a little bit. Let's see. And that's probably too much. Yeah, it is. Whoops. Come on, you. Don't do that. All right. So this is the control that I tightened the mounting nut on that made this function. But why did that make a difference? Yeah, I don't understand. Because you've got this control, which goes through here, and between the two, you would, Okay, I'm looking at the switch, trying to see what, if anything, would maybe. Okay. I was trying to see if there's anything in particular that could be affected by this plate. I don't know what I did with my pointer. I'm always losing it, and I've got that nice big pointer that I can't now find. Oh, here. I may have to round up something different. This seems to affect my camera more than... Okay, but as I'm looking at this, now let's back out because I can't seem to stay focused on what I'm doing here. Alright, so this has this ground that goes under this, and of course supplies the ground from here to this. So this wouldn't be affected by this. Now, And theoretically, this should also make, I'll have to look at the schematic more closely, because you've got this control. This is the control that you use to set the AC. This allows you to adjust for varying AC supply voltages. So back when this was built, I'm trying to think. This is, what did I say this was? 50s, somewhere around there. Voltages could still be a bit unstable, and the voltage could range from, I don't know, maybe 119 or a little bit lower, all the way up to 123 or so. And it could vary. And even today, you can, depending on where you are and what's on the same circuit as you are, you could see some variation. So this control allows you to adjust for that. And this has a ground tab right here that goes underneath this and grounds it to this metal panel. And it's still not adding up. So one of the things I did check was, I was trying to see if there was any connection between here and here and any of these connections. This is the only one. So why did tightening up the nut on this cause this to start working? Now, I at one point thought I was seeing, well, you can see a little bit here. This is corrosion, all these little dots that you see. So there was there was a little bit of moisture where this was stored. I'm going to take this out of here for a minute. And well, let's start with this. We know this is okay right now. So actually, let me finish that thought. Is it possible that there is corrosion between this plate and this one? Yeah, you won't see it. I thought at first, this control is mounted to a plate that's directly connected to this. So everything here, all that tube does not go anywhere, it does not connect at any point. No connections from this socket connect to this at all. So that's not an issue. This one also does not connect to this. But that's another connection between here and here. So it's very puzzling that I had to tighten this nut to get this to work. Again, there's a corrosion behind here and I won't see it, but let's see. Now, let's go to there and do that. So what I'm trying to do here is I want to see if there is any measurable resistance, even having tightened this down, between here and here, between this plate and this plate. So let's see what we get for. First of all, let's check to see what our 0 is. 0.10, okay, it is 0. Not all my meters do that. So 0.2, 0.2. There's a very small amount of resistance there. 0.1. We go back here. 0.2, 0.1. So that looks good. But what I want to do now is loosen that nut and see, and I'm going to try to loosen it just a little bit because I want to mimic what I did, only in reverse. So we're going to do this, and it really wasn't much, it's about like that. Let's check this out. So actually, it's probably a little bit looser than it was before. Well now. Okay. That's still not horrible. Just going to try to find something and just gently put pressure on. 0.4, 0.3. Alright, well, here's the next thing I want to do. I've loosened that up. I'm going to turn this to the short position, because that's the quickest way to check to see if this is working. Alright. Put that back on. Now, so this is the line adjust setting, if I remember correctly. Now, let's see, cord, power. Let's go there. Yeah. I'm going to put it in here. And do that. Alright. Turn this on. And we'll wait and see what that does. It should come up in a minute. And there it is. Alright, now I'm going to tie these two together, and it's working. You're not supposed to do that. Oh, stop it. Be that way. Okay, I'm pulling on this plate here. Interesting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let me see. How do I do that? How do I want to do that? I'm going to try it this way. Put this on here, and then here. Yeah, I know. Stop it. I should have put this. In fact, I'm going to do that. If I do that, then it won't time out. Of course, that means if I forget and leave the meter on, the battery will die. But 'tis what it is. All right, now, come on. Really? Huh. Well, let's see. I'm going to go here. Still 0.2. So why? That's really bizarre. Interesting. What is on DC, I think. I'm going to turn this on. So here's my next step then, is, be careful with this, is I want to get this try AC. Well, interesting. Well, let's go crazy and loosen this up even more. Well, that did change this voltage, but it didn't stop this from working. Whoops. Huh. Well. Huh. I do say huh. Why? I do say why. Why are you now working? Is this? Alright, that's completely loose. Now if I push on that, it goes in the opposite direction. It goes to opening that. Come on. Okay. I don't get it. I don't understand. Well, let's turn that off again before I forget and touch something I shouldn't. Now, I've loosened this up completely, and this is telling me that it's got a perfect connection now, almost. Now that connection is not great, is it? So a minute ago I was telling you it was very good. I don't understand. Huh. So I'm trying to see so as I'm pondering this, here's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering, this grounds to this. If this doesn't have a ground, then this control won't work. Let's do this. That should be pretty obvious, because and let's go back to this. That. What can I connect to? So I connect to that. So that's not a problem. Okay, now we'll go to this one. Just because I'm going to loosen the nut up on that one too, and we're going to see. Because I'm really baffled, to say the least. And once I do this, I have to be careful because I have wires that go between. Alright. So I've got this little tie strip has a ground point to this. Stop it. So now yeah, because I've got things that go from here to here, and that goes there. I don't get it. Because that's still showing up good. And it kind of makes sense because this is securing this to this, making a ground. So why? So we're going to ground this. I'm going to put this back in place. But I'm not going to tighten it up. So I want to see. Well, actually, I already know. If I don't tighten this up, this becomes an open circuit, and this control won't do anything. So that won't help me. I'm just going to tighten this back up. Okay, now, yeah, I know, ish. Yeah, yes, of course you can do that. All right, so, so at this point, these two connections are completely free. I've got the nuts off, and this is floating. Okay, so I'm going to get this off from here. Based on what my meter is telling me, actually, I don't need you on for now. Based on what my meter is telling me, this is still properly grounded to the plate. And this also, well, it doesn't matter. Yeah. The only thing that matters here is that this makes a good connection to this, since that's the only thing in that circuit. Okay, well, let's try that again. Okay, let's see. That's way further up than it normally would be. But it's working, which before it wouldn't work. I couldn't get anything out of it. Okay, this is really bizarre. Well then, I've got nowhere. Okay, well let's see what we've got here, because I don't understand. Now I'm going to tighten these back up. Let's see. That is off. Okay. I'm trying to pay attention to whether I have power applied to this thing or not. And yes, it's an isolation transformer, but there are ways to get bit, even so. There's that. Now remember, this one shifted on me. I tightened it up, so try to keep. All right, so I'm not going to tighten this all the way up. I'm going to try to put this back kind of the way it was, right about there. So let's try that. All right. Oh, there it is. It's working. So it doesn't matter now. Well, Huh. I'm curious to see. I don't know what voltage that is giving me. I'm guessing it's around 120 because I've got it set to the mark that usually means 120. But, alright, so this is AC. I'm a little bit puzzled because of the voltage, because of this setting. It seems like I've had to turn it up further than I did before. Let's see, we got this and we got that. 120. Okay. So let's see what that's like on this. Let's see what my actual voltage is. I guess it doesn't matter. 121. 121 and a half. Oh, you can't see that. Yeah, let's see, let's bring it in a little better. Alright, so before I had 120 on my variable transformer, and now I've got 121.9, 122 was a minute ago. Interesting. No. So, almost 122. So let's see what that does. No, it's not going on. This is the one. No, didn't seem to matter too much. Huh. Well, I don't know. Very odd. I don't get it. I don't see how that could be. I don't know. Turn that off. I don't need that anymore. This has got to be unplugged because that would definitely not be good. All right. One last test before I put it back together. So I've accomplished nothing. Okay. Yeah, it works. And there's a teeny tiny wiggling there when I move that plate around, but that's it. Okay, well, I don't get it. It makes no sense. I know what happened. When I tightened the nut for that, this started working. But I don't know why. I really don't know why. Let's see. I have, so I've checked, I think I did. So the only things that go to chassis on this, the only thing is this one connection here. So if I do, go down there, let's see how we got, what we got. 0.2, 0.1. Alright, so I'm going around these different connections to see what, I probably should have done this when I had it disconnected and I didn't do it. So, now this is in short condition, this is in short setting. So I'm going to check only those, yes, I'm only going to check those connections which are being connected by 32 ohms. Interesting. 3.6K. But still, if I go here, I should have a short. Come on. Yeah. So if I connect here, I get 0.1, 0.2, thereabouts. Alright, fine. Go there. Stay there. But in terms of connection between here and any of these, there's absolutely nothing. So what am I missing? What am I missing? I don't know. I really don't know. Because I know that tightening up the nut for this made this start to work. But you saw when I took the nuts off this and this, it wasn't working. And now I've had this loose, I've had this tight, I've had this the nut completely off, and it continues to work. And the only thing that would be affected by this plate not being properly connected to this plate is this. And that would stop, that since this is the control that you adjust for line voltage, that would keep this from working. So let's just take a quick look. I am flabbergasted. I did not expect this. I figured, well, I'd loosen that up and I'd find something. No. Let's see. Okay. Let's find our variable transistor. There are no transistors. Variable control, variable resistor, where are you? RC balance, that's not what I want. Range switch. So somewhere on one of these ground connections should, here we, CCW pot. Yes, this is it. But, wait a minute. Am I wrong? Well, huh. Oh, maybe this is, this might be CCW. That's probably the pot up here for the capacitance, I'm guessing. The reason I say, oh yes, there it is, 0.1 to 50 meg pot. Yes, that's not the right one. But there should be another one. Purple wire goes up to the tube. So, and that goes to pin, let's find out that way. That goes to pin what? 1, 2, 3, looks like. Yeah, looks like 3. Let's go to pin 3. Except that's not right. Oh, this is on the wrong tube. That would explain. Oh, there it is. There's our 50K line adjust pot. Okay. Alright. So, there's the ground tab that goes to the center connection on the pot. And then this is the connection that goes to the cathode. And so you're basically changing the bias, I guess, on this tube by adjusting this. That would be my guess. And so if you were to break this, then you couldn't adjust this, and that would open it up completely. Interesting. So why? Here's the variable. Let's get this out of here because this is making my camera unhappy. Let's see. So this is the selector for the different functions. Yes. So this is the control, or the the rotary switch. That's the word I was looking for. This is the rotary switch that controls whether you're dealing with short, capacitance, or open. And there is no connection between this other than that connection there. And yeah, so this is that one ground wire. But as far as the mounting frame for that rotary switch, there is no connection between that and this. So if I go back to this, this is really the only, let me think about that one for a minute. So this is the only ground that goes to the metal backing plate that's not connected directly to this. I wish I would never have thought to do that. Looking at the schematic, I should have looked at the schematic, and I should have played around with my ohm meter to see if I was getting a good ground between here and here, because I could have measured between here. Alright, I got interrupted, and I had to go back and look at my video to see what I was doing. So, I'm trying to wrap up here, and I'm hoping that my conclusions will help somebody in the future if they run into one of these that's doing something similar to what I was dealing with. Now, one conclusion is that putting this on the short setting and shorting the leads is the best way to try to find out whether or not this is working, because if it is working, the two bars will come together. That's a quick and easy way. And okay. I'm still trying to figure out why on earth pushing on this made it work. Now, I wasn't pushing on it straight on. I was going through the center. I was off to the side a little bit. So maybe it tilted it slightly, but this is so close to tight that doesn't make any sense. Next question is, why did tightening this fix the problem? Well, you can look at the schematic, but this, and it's not, and it's a good thing to do actually, but let's see here. All right. There are only two grounds that would be affected by this. This and this. So, one of the things I could have done, probably should have done maybe, which who knows if this would have helped me sort this out. There are three places I would probably have measured between this frame and there, and between here, which is the metal bracket that supports this rotary switch, and here and here. And maybe that would have told me what I needed to know. I am totally amazed that I was able to take this thing practically apart, and I couldn't find a problem between here and here, or here and here. It just doesn't add up. This is where the metal detent is for this arm, and this goes around, and this is the threaded part that comes out here. So, and the other part of this is that when I pulled this apart, one of the things I looked for on purpose was whether or not this washer was against plastic or if it went against the metal. And based on what I was seeing, I pretty much expected that this was against the plastic, and that's exactly what it was. So, and so, I've mentioned this already before, but I'll do it again. This was holding this tightly against this. So, where could we have problems? It's possible that both this connection to this to this was not right. These screws, maybe they could be not tight enough so that this part wasn't grounding that, if this wasn't doing its job. But there's also another one down here. This also was secured. This is also securing this plate to this plate. So this is a mystery I highly doubt I will ever solve. At this point, I'm just happy that it's working. I'm also happy that I checked this out, because there's this thought in the back of my mind, what if this happens again while I'm in the middle of doing something? As we all know, that's kind of annoying. You have to stop and repair your equipment to keep on working on what you're trying to fix. So that's not fun either. So my goal is to make sure this thing is going to work and work reliably. Am I going to use it a lot? I don't know. Am I going to use it? Yes, I am going to play with this some more. I find this rather intriguing, and my thought is that maybe this could help me in troubleshooting, and maybe I'll find this is a very useful tool. I'll find out. So, I'll try to make this my final words. Read your schematic, find out what parts are where. In this case, this was the line adjust control, and this tells you what it's doing. And obviously, if that ground is not there, you won't adjust anything. But it's also true that when the, I don't know if they tell you, oh yeah, okay, so they tell you right here. I didn't notice this before, I didn't read it. So position and wiper. So short, 1 and 12, 8, 9, and 10. Those are the connections made when you're in short mode. So if you go up here, and there we are, there's 1 and 12, and that's the ground. So one of the reasons why I checked this rotary switch and checked all of these connections was because there was a possibility that these connections here weren't good, maybe this ground wasn't good. It passed the test when I checked it. This 8, 9, 10. So this switch is in the short position because all three of these are shorted together. And you'll notice that this is the microfarad pot. This only makes connection with any part of the circuit when you rotate this one position to the center. And then if you go another click to the right, then this part, which would be here in the middle setting, would then also be disconnected. So yes, so this is pot that you use to find out what microfarad you've got. Only works when it's in that one position. Not a surprise, but it's quick and easy to find out when you actually read the schematic. And they actually tell you capacity. It tells you what those are. And open, it tells you what that is. And let's see, yeah, capacity 7, 8. Interesting. Oh, okay, so that must tie those two together. Okay. So anyway, I wasn't paying attention to this, but I can see that this is a really quick way. I was doing it the hard way by looking at that, but this tells you exactly. Oh. Huh. Okay. Yeah. I spent a little bit of time trying to figure out what numbers went where on this. It's here, and it tells you, let's see, open 10 to 11. So it tells you what is where, and if you were to turn your control to 10 and 11, and you looked at this and you saw which two were shorted together, that would immediately tell you which ones are what. And again, I was not using all my tools available to me. I was just doing it the way I've always done it. Look at it and trace it out. Read the schematic. It gives you helpful stuff. Alright, so I guess that's it. Check to make sure you have proper grounds between here and here, and between here and here and here. I could, because this is new, and I think I don't know what's on. I don't think there's a split washer on that. But anyway, so check your grounds, I guess, bottom line. Check to make sure all your grounds are working properly. I really wish that I had done that before I fixed it. But it seems like it's now going to be reliable. And the other thing that I'm thinking, one of the other things I looked at when I was removing the screws, I was looking to see if this back cover would come out. If it did, that meant that that was pulling on this. So there's a possibility, again, remote, there's a possibility that putting the screws in would pull this away from here and change the ground resistance. Again, it's still, I keep going around in circles. This should have been making sure this had a good ground. This should have made sure it had a good ground. So again, it's a mystery I can't solve. I was really, really hoping that I could make it misbehave, but I can't. Alright, got interrupted yet again. Alright, so I'm going to stop here. I think I've said this at least twice. I don't want to say it again. It's a mystery. I'm glad it's working. I got paint stuck on that. If anything I've presented in this is helpful, it'd be great if you'd let me know. I appreciate that. That's one of the reasons why I do this, is because I'm hoping that somebody will be helped by what I do. And so, appreciate having you subscribe. If you enjoyed, if you like what you saw, leave a like, a comment, all of the above. And appreciate all of you who watch. Thank you.